In this video I'm going to explain briefly about starting projects. When you first open up Revit 2020, if you've used it before or somebody else has used it before, you're going to have a series of views of projects that have recently been opened up, and these will display here like these are displaying in this example. Along the bottom are also going to be a list of recently opened families. Basically, the model is the working environment that you've used to create your views, and the families are the elements that you put in there, such as light fittings, mechanical equipment, ductwork, plumbing, equipment, etc. Now, there's three main types of files that Revit uses. These project files, they're the ones where you do the majority of your work in the building model by adding elements, creating views, annotating views, and setting up printable sheets. And they are initially based on template files. Template files, these are the base files for any new project or a family. These are designed to hold standard information and settings for creating new project files. The software includes several templates for various types of projects, and you can also create your own templates, such as company templates where they want certain things to display a certain way. And then the last file type are the family ones. They're the ones that separate components that can be inserted into a project. They include elements that stand alone, e.g. a table or a piece of mechanical equipment, or items that are hosted in other elements such as doors or walls, such as a light fitting in a ceiling. Title blocks and annotation symbols are also special types of family files. Open up a project. As I say, if you've already got one recently opened up, it will show here and you can just click on it and open up again. Or failing that, you would just click on the open box here and you'll get a pop-up window where you can then scroll through and look for any files that you wish to open up. If you want to, if you open up a file that has been recently opened up, if you open up a file that came from another version, such as this example here, there's no name at the end of it. Doesn't mean that it's an old one, it just means that it hasn't been labelled accordingly. Whereas the one above it, it's been opened up and resaved, and it's been saved with the version number of what that is, such as R20. In other words, this is an R20 file. If we open up this one and click on open, you can see that it's telling us that the file that we're trying to open was created in 2018 version, and it's being upgraded to a 2020 version. And it says that when the upgrade is complete, save the model to avoid the need to repeat this process. In other words, it's having to convert all of that information that was in the 2018 version and saving it to the 2020 version. It's a good idea to save any old files that you may have to new ones if you're going to be using them, but ideally you should be using the correct version software for the file type that you're opening. In this instance, we want to upgrade, so we don't need to worry about trying to find a 2020 software just to open up that file. If we save this as 2020, if we save this as 2020, which we already have done, and then we go back to a 2018, it won't allow us to open it. It's not backwards compatible. We can open older files, but we can't open newer files in an older software. as you can see, once we've got a particular project open or anything, we can also do a similar thing and open up straight from this way to give us that same information. I'll just close this down. Now, if we want to start off a project from a template, that's a file that we're starting brand new from scratch, then we click on New, and this will create a new project based on a template that we've used. In this instance, we've got a few already set up, but if we want to find a particular type of one, we will go into Browse and then choose a different one, such as this one, a systems one, which rather than a specific just electrical, mechanical, plumbing, this equates to all the services together. We will click on that one, open, and then create new project from this. And we've now got a project ready for us to, first thing is to save it, save as project, and give it a name, and then we can go ahead and do what we need to do, such as the first instance is load in the architectural background. When we come to save projects, let's just save this, and I'll put this in a temp folder. Desktop, temp, project 1. Here is what we've just saved. Now say I do some work and move around. When we come to save projects, this works slightly differently when we have work sets, which I can explain that later on. But for now, whenever I go and do save the project again, project 1, save, if we look at this folder again, you can now see we've got two copies of the same thing. The first one was this one, and it ends in .0001, and the latest one, as you can see from the time, this is the current one that we just called it project 1. Revit will continue to give you copies of your previous last file for four times. So if you do make a mistake or you've done something wrong, you can go back to a previously numbered one and redo that particular element again, and you haven't lost everything. Just be mindful though that if you need to submit a file, such as submitting a file through to me for marking, etc., then make sure you choose the one without the numbers. If you give me the one such as this one with 001 at the end of it, you'll have very little work in there. That probably would have been just your setup when you first saved the file, and there'll be no work in there yet. And if you give me that one, then there'll be nothing for me to mark. So make sure when you submit or give out to people your work, you always give this one without the numbering at the end. You can also get Revit to ask you to give you reminders on when to save, and you'll get pop-ups pop up saying you have not saved your work recently, what do you want to do, and you can set these up for intervals 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or 1, 2 or 4 hours. To do that, all you need to do is go into File and Options, and under here the notifications, save reminder intervals. I've got mine set at 30 minutes, but as you can see, you can change it or no reminders.